All right, setting up your Mavic Pro. Terry, what's the first thing you're going to want to do?
Well, you know, realistically, the first thing you're going to really do is charge everything. Get all the batteries charged. You got a battery for the Mavic Pro, which it comes with its own charger.
Number one.
You've got a battery in the controller, if you got the controller, which is optional, but hopefully you got it.
Number two.
And believe it or not, you want to charge your phone, the one that you're going to be using to control it with. That way, everything is fully charged and ready to go.
So, Terry, what does the controller do that's different than the phone? What's each one of these for?
Well, the reason I say I hope you got the controller is, even though it's optional, it is definitely the best way to fly the Mavic, because this is an RC controller, works over radio frequencies, whereas if you only use a phone, which you can do if you don't have the controller, you'll save $200. But then if you're only using the phone, you're limited by the distance of Wi-Fi. So it's a much better experience.
How many muches is it?
To have the controller. So the controller basically just unfolds like that. You got antennas that pop out that give you long distance, and then there's several USB connectors that come with it for the various types of devices that you connect, whether it's Android or iOS. So I have the Lightning one connected or attached, and then I would just plug my phone in and attach it to the controller, and it would hold it like that. So that way, there's a battery in here that's charged. We're going to turn that on at the right time, launch the app, and then I can do everything just like a game controller.
Now the antennas, we don't want to actually aim them straight up, right? They have a detented position.
Yeah, that's pretty much the position. So you don't want them out like that necessarily, and you don't want them like that.
Right.
Kind of just in that position is where I usually keep them.
And you'll feel it detented as you move it back and forth. All right.
So when not in use, they fold down nice and flat like that, and when in use, I usually keep them like that.
You're also going to want to download the free DJI Go 4 app. If you've got an iPhone, go to the App Store. If you have an Android device, go to the Google Play Store. It's a free app, and it is a key part of this. So we know what the controller does. What's the phone do?
Well, the phone is going to act more like your heads-up display. Now, there is a display right on the controller that's going to give you stats about the drone, how high up it is, whether or not you got a GPS signal, so forth and so on. But the phone, actually, the display on your phone actually serves as the viewfinder to the camera. So since we're talking about taking photos, you're going to probably spend a lot of your time looking at the phone, framing your images up, and then there are controls on the, for setting your camera settings, which we're going to get into, and things that control the camera. So think of it, the controller as the way to control the copter. Your phone is going to be controlling the features of the drone.
Alrighty, so we've charged all three. We've charged the battery here on the Mavic Pro.
Yep.
We've charged the battery for the controller.
Yep.
That's an important thing. Now, the battery lasts a long time on this compared to what it lasts on the actual.
Correct. You're going to get about, they say up to 27 minutes of flying time, but you have to factor in, that's not, I take off and then I fly for 27 minutes and I come back. That's 27 minutes is from the time you turn it on to the time you land.
Right.
So if you flew it 15 minutes away, uh-oh.
You don't have enough to get back.
You don't have enough juice to get back and land. So, and probably you're not going to fly 15 minutes away because then it will be out of sight anyway.
All right, so that's kind of your first prep. Let's look at the next things you need to do to get this thing ready to fly.